All right, friends, welcome back to the Build Show. We're talking electrical today. We're going out to California where master electrician CJ with CNC Electric is going to talk about slab on grade. You know, there's a lot of issues that come with slab on grade compared to, let's say, pier and beam, where we could poke electrical up anywhere. You have to think about it, and CJ is going to walk us through all those things. That being said, CJ, my master electrician, talking about slab on grade electrical. But let's get going.
So we're talking slab on grade. If you don't know what slab on grade is, it's a concrete slab on top of your lot. And so there we actually have no physical crawl space, whereas if we had a suspended floor system with a stem wall, we actually could physically get under that floor system and route wires and pipes and things like that. But in this case, I want to highlight this job because it's a really tricky one for us. We're actually standing on a concrete slab that actually has a rigid insulation over the top that's going to get another fill on top. But what I'm getting at is that we have nothing, no space below us to run any conduits. So you can see behind me my electrical panels, we have these conduits going out. We actually roughed these into the slab prior to pour. So these conduits go in and through the slab, and we're actually pulling a different style wire through conduits. We're not using non-metallic sheathed Romex. We're actually pulling THHN style building wire through these conduits. So we're talking about two different materials. We're talking about two different install techniques. We had to really put some thought into where these conduits go. For example, this one goes through the floor and pops up in a stem wall where we're able to route multiple cables through to get to that wall, because again, we don't have that ability to crawl underneath the house. Oh, what about above? Can't you go through the attic? Well, that's why this one's tricky, is above us is a flat roof with basically no void between it. Very minimal at that. So we don't even have an attic to crawl through. So we're pinched between two unroutable substances, right? We got a slab below us, we got a closed ceiling above us, we have nowhere to route wires. So we had to get really strategic with the install. So we went conduit, we routed Romex where we could through open framing like we would in a traditional house. And I'll take you kind of through some of these. So we had to transition from conduit to Romex in some instances. Again, the conduits below me, this is just a good visual. They made a quick change, but being that we actually have buildup going on top of this slab, we're able to route conduits directly on top of the slab. It wasn't an ideal scenario for everywhere. We definitely roughed in most of the conduits prior to the pour. But when it comes to transitioning, we can't run everything in conduit. I mean, we could. There certainly are areas throughout the world that you have to use conduit instead of Romex like we would wire inside wood walls. But I want to show you a couple tricks that we use when we're working with limited access, when we're dealing with slab on grade, when we're dealing with a ceiling that we can't route things through. We have to get very precise. We actually have conduits that come up in these walls that we located prior to pouring, string lines laid out the walls, routed the conduits, and you can see we transitioned from a PVC conduit to a metallic flex, which gave us that opportunity to pull those building wires that I showed you, and then again, transition into Romex. So what happens in some cases is we got a lot of wires going through this house. And I want to show you one of the details on this project that made it a little tricky is this middle section, if you imagine this home, is a big giant U shaped. And this middle section is an atrium that is completely exposed to weather. But we still had to get from one side to the other. So we actually have conduits going underground through this section, kind of the least path of resistance. I mean, the closest we could get from point A to point B is how we routed the conduits prior to the foundation. But we utilized what we're going to call a collection can right behind us. So inside here, we actually have a closet. And on the other side here, we have an access door that this large junction box that we're calling a collection can intercepts our conduits that are coming underground all the way over our main panel. And then we're able to transition, because we do have timber framing above us, to transition to Romex. And so we just use this as basically a big junction box where it's going conductor, splicing inside the box to a Romex, where we can now run through open framing and route. So junction box, but we're gonna call this a collection can in this case. All right, so we're on the other side of what we were just looking at. And again, this is our collection can, where this is just gonna have an access door. And this is just a clothes closet. So this is completely legal to have a collection can with junctions in it versus a sub panel, which are not allowed to have inside a coat closet. Because another challenge that we have on a lot of builds is mechanical space. Not often in a custom residential home do they just say install whatever you want, wherever you want. So mechanical space is at a premium on most jobs. And so what this collection can gives us the ability to do is we don't have to have circuit breakers in here. I'm a big fan of not having load centers or electrical panels located throughout the job in different places, just to make the installer's job easier. I like to have all our mechanical in one space so that if something goes wrong, you can go right to the load center and reset the breakers and not have to dig around the house and look for other sub panels. So you'll never ever have to access this collection can. This is really just a point for us to transition from conduit to Romex, and then this will all be drywalled off, and this will get a flush cover, real nice, that if you ever needed to get in there, pop the 4 screws off, open it up. But I'll take you throughout, again, several locations in this house couldn't be wired in traditional Romex. I mean, this wall we were able to. Again, it's all timber framed, so we're able to, and we definitely took advantage of running Romex. But being that we're on a slab and we have no mechanical space or crawl space above us, there are, again, instances where we have wall sections that we can't route a wire from here to the other side of the house through the framing. So again, there was a lot of time spent staring at a set of plans, drawing out conduit routes to make sure that we knew we could get a conduit to a box, and then we could transition from the box to outbound. Again, a lot of strategic planning went into something like that, but there's just a few install techniques that you could use on builds that you might be limited on access when you have no crawl space below or above. You can use a combination of commercial electrical techniques like conduits and PVC in slab, and then transition with a collection can or a junction box in a non-intrusive area like a closet. So anyways, just a few tips when you're actually wiring a home with these tricky details where you don't have a lot of access or mechanical space to hide things. Utilize a collection can or utilize the ability to transition from underground to Romex using some techniques like we just showed you. So you want more stuff and you want to know how to build better, check out other videos on the Build Show, because there's a bunch over there with endless topic to educate yourself a little bit more on how to build better.
Guys, big thanks to CJ. He is amazing. I love watching his content. He runs an electrical shop with about 4 or 5 electricians outside of San Francisco, beautiful wine country. He's on some amazing jobs, works with some fabulous builders like Dave Haynes. So if you're not familiar with CJ, go check out his work on thebuildshow.com. He's been shooting videos now for about 2 years with us, maybe 3 years. He's got a ton of great videos. So whether you're a budding electrician, whether you're a builder like me who wants to understand the trades, or you're planning to build a fabulous house, CJ's got some fabulous content for you. You can also follow him on Instagram at CNC Electric. With that being said, guys, hit that subscribe button below. We've been doing a best of series on Tuesdays. We have new content on Fridays with me, and we're publishing a bunch of series content here on the YouTubes. But if you go over to thebuildshow.com, we literally have 20 videos a week publishing these days. We've got a massive contributor audience these days. We've got build experts, we've got build pros. We're having a lot of fun around here. With that being said, guys, follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.